Hi guys, Samantha from Jessima Tutorials here, and today I'm going to test out what's the best way to apply a metallic finish to polymer clay. And I'm going to be testing a number of different items for this. Acrylic paint, Swelligant, mica powder, even Gilder's paste, alcohol ink, liquid clay, two different types of metal leaf, and then of course I'm going to be testing out actual silver clay. So I'm going to test all of these, and then at the end of it, this video anyway, we'll see which one applies the best metallic effect. And I'm going to be testing silver, but the same would apply to gold as well. Then I also have a number of different test pieces, and I'm just using these little shells so that they all appear the exact same, and we can just see whether it is, we'll be able to tell the difference between the metallic finishes. And some of the metallic finishes require raw clay, so I have got 3 raw pieces here and then 6 baked pieces. Okay, and this is just to test out. So the first one that I'm going to go with is the silver clay, and I'm just going to grab a mold, and I'm going to grab some of that metallic silver. And this one I don't think is going to come out very metal looking. It's a nice colour, but I don't think it's going to look like metal at the end of it. But we'll test it alongside everything else. Now bear in mind that the results are going to vary depending on the brands of paint you're using, the brands of clay you're using, but this tutorial should give a general idea on each finish. Okay, and as far as metallic clays go, I think Cernit has the best looking metallic, but they're all very similar to one another. This is Polymer that I am working with. And then all of the other pieces are just plain black Polymer clay. Okay, and that was how I made the little shell pieces. Okay, so that's the silver clay. I'm going to pop that to the side and we'll compare later. Okay, and I'm going to start with the raw pieces first. I'm just going to bring those over. I'm going to pop this to the side. Okay, and I'm also going to move these out the way so they don't get contaminated. And the first finish that I'm going to test is the mica powder, which is the one that I generally use the most. And you get a variety of different silver mica powders, so the results are going to vary, but you can decide whether the finish looks very metal to you from this. And I generally think that mica powder does quite a good job when it comes to appearing metallic. Just tap that in. I'm going to close the mica powder because spills happen. And I'm just going to blow away the excess. Okay. And then the important thing when it comes to any kind of powder is to go in and just lightly burnish it to get the powder to stick to the surface of whatever you're using. And mica powder is generally applied best to raw clay. You can apply it to baked clay if you mix it in with something like liquid clay or a varnish, but if you want it to stick to the clay, it needs to be raw. Okay, and I think that does quite a good job. I'm going to take that and put that to the side. And then the next two I am going to apply metal leaf to. Now, I'm not sure how many of you know this, but there are different types of metal leaf. This is the one that I use quite often on my videos, and it's quite a stiff metal leaf. If I take this out of the packet and show you, you can see here how it doesn't really fold like tissue paper. It's got almost a stiffness to it. And that is generally the most common type of metal leaf. But then there is another type which is a lot softer, and I will bring that over and hopefully you'll be able to see the difference in the texture when I get this. Let me just lift that up off the paper. It's immediately going to feel quite a bit thinner. There we go. And then hopefully you can see when I move that around that it's just a lot softer. So if you're going to be applying metal leaf to something to make it look like metal, I would recommend looking for the softer type because it will apply easier. But I'm going to be applying both today. So again, you're going to want to work with a raw piece of clay and a brush, and take that and just pop that over the top, and then use the brush to gently tap it into place. And this is the soft one, and you'll find that it does a much better job in terms of coverage while still picking up the details. The other one is going to crackle a lot more, and again I will show that in a moment. The other one is almost more like a foil than it is a leaf, whereas this one is generally what's used for gilding things, because it applies down in a much softer, more even coat. But both you will need a raw piece of clay to apply to. Again, you could also apply it using a varnish if you want to apply this finish to a baked piece of clay. Okay, and then just try to coat as best you can, and then use the brush to work away the excess leaf. Okay, and there we go. That's how that should look. I'm going to take that and pop that to the side, and I'm going to grab the last little raw one that I've got, and I'm going to apply this leaf. Okay, and just need to get that off the paper. Okay, I'm just going to move that to the side. Leaf is always a bit messy to work with. Just apply that to the top like you did with the other one, and then use the brush to apply. And you should be able to see how it doesn't pick up the texture as well, and it is just a little harder to apply, and it's more brittle than the other one. Both work, but I personally think the other one works better for this effect. Just continue applying it and brushing it down, and trying to highlight that texture and getting it into all of the little nooks and crannies. And then that will be the last for the raw ones. The rest of them I have baked for about 15 minutes so that they are cured and ready for the effects that I want to apply. Okay, just going to bring over one of the baked pieces, and for the first one I'm going to be applying this metallic paste to see how that appears. And generally you just need to pick up a bit and then run that over the surface like so, and that should apply a layer of metallic to it. And I'm not going to be able to get into all of the nooks and crannies, so I am going to use a brush to help me out with that. Just going to grab some of that on the brush and use that to kind of work it in, because I don't want to be able to see the black. Okay, and there's a number of metallic pastes that you could use, so this will give you an idea of how that would apply to the clay. And just keep working that in like so. Okay, and then that's how that looks. Pop that to the side, move on to the next one, and the next one is going to be Swelligant, which is also quite an interesting one. Make sure to give it a shake. Okay, And I'm going to apply some to my brush and brush that over the surface. And this should apply nicely. And I'm not going to get into the all of the things that Swelligant can do. I'm just using it as a regular metal coating. There's lots of other things that you can do, including antiquing and creating an aged metal look. So if you're interested in kind of creating metal effects on polymer clay, definitely have a look, because there are a lot of cool ways that you can work with this. Okay, then allow that to dry, and that should give you quite a good effect. Okay, then the next one I'm going to test out is metallic alcohol ink. This is another one that you have to give a little shake. And this one I also really do quite like. I think it works pretty well. And I think is one of my favourite ways to apply a metallic finish. But again, I want you to let me know in the comments once you've finished watching which one you think looks the best, because they're all going to look different, and it's really going to depend on your taste which one you think looks best. There are going to be some definite ones that don't work, but there should be a lot of contenders at the end of this. So there we go, and it's as easy as that to apply. Okay, then the next two are going to be metallic paints. I'm going to use this one first, which is just a would be along the lines of a generic metallic paint. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to apply it. And metallic paints may require 2 coats to get a decent finish, because you don't want to apply a really thick coat of paint, because you'll end up masking some of the texture, because it will kind of clog in the texture. So you might want to apply 2 coats of paint. So just allow that to dry, and then I will apply another coat of paint, and in the meantime I'll bring over the other paint that I'm going to use, which is a little more of an expensive paint, and see if that actually makes a difference. And this isn't pure silver, this is more of a pewter colour. And we'll see if that works. I'm not sure if that one's going to work, because it is, again, not quite silver. I don't have one that is pure silver. Let's see how that looks. I can't really tell the difference when I'm laying it down. I would also need to apply 2 coats of this. I think it does have a bit of a higher metallic content to it than the other one. But I will apply 2 coats of each, and then see which one looks best. Okay, and there we go. I just applied the second coat, and I can notice now that the this paint over here does definitely leave a better result. This one, it kind of, you can see that it's paint. It does an okay job, but I still think that this one does a better one. So yeah, the quality of the paint does make a difference. So I'll pop those to the side, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply liquid clay. This is the one that I am least hopeful for, because it's kind of sticky and it doesn't cure unless it's baked, and the liquid clay, although it looks pretty, doesn't really have that much of a metallic finish to it. And I think if you were going to do this, you would probably be better off just using normal silver polymer clay rather than applying liquid clay. But for the sake of today's experiment, I do want to test it at least to see how it comes out. And you can see there that that one is definitely the least effective one so far. And also it's the one that's going to be probably the messiest to work with if you want to do stuff with this before it's baked, because the liquid clay, again, as I said, won't cure or harden until it's been baked. However, it is the one finish besides the just plain silver clay that isn't going to require any kind of sealing because it is just plain polymer clay. So that is something to bear in mind. Now I'm going to put all of those finishes into the oven for another 15 minutes to cure them. This one I'm going to put into the oven for an hour, or at least half an hour actually, along with the silver clay one, because those need to be baked completely. The other ones I just want to heat set to see how they react to that. So all of the ones that are already baked go in for 15 minutes, all of the ones that are raw going to go in for at least 40 minutes, and then we can see and compare how they all look. Okay, and here they are out of the oven, and this was the first one that we did, going through in order to the last one that we did. So before I tell you which one is which, let me know in the comments below which one you think is the best result, this being number 1 all the way through to number 10. So let me know which number is the best. But what the materials are, this is just plain silver clay, this is mica powder, this is the soft metal leaf, coarse metal leaf, gilder's paste, swelligant, alcohol ink, the regular metallic silver paint, the more expensive silver paint, and then finally the silver liquid clay. So let me know which one of those you think is best. As for my opinion, I think that the mica powders turned out very well. I also think that both of the paints actually turned out quite well as the metal coloured alcohol ink. The swelligant also looks really good. I definitely would say the gilder's paste one doesn't really work. The liquid clay one doesn't really work. The silver clay one also doesn't really work, and that one definitely doesn't work. This one I think looks nice, however I can see too much patchiness in it for me to really consider it. Maybe a better application for that would be to mix it into a varnish so that you can apply it and get a more even coverage. If that was the case, then I'd say this one also is a really good option, probably the best if you can get an even cover, but if you can't do that, then it is too obvious that it's a coating and not actual metal leaf. As far as the ones that I think are the best, I would say the mica powder one and this one over here, which is the alcohol ink one. But these three also look really good. So those are my opinions. Let me know in the comments below which one you like the best, and if you have tried any of these kind of metallic metal finishes on polymer clay. Also, let me know if it was helpful and if this helped you with anything in regards to your polymer clay projects. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below. Also, if you have suggestions for other metal coatings to create a metallic effect on polymer clay, let me know as well. But yeah, other than that, that is pretty much for the video. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.